and the market is really something else right now. We live in some crazy times, guys. I don't even know what to say about BlackBerry. I'm sure everybody's up to date with what's happening right now, but there's some crazy stuff going on in Reddit threads. So we got a lot to talk about. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Trades, where we give technical analysis on different stocks in the stock market, as well as potential buy, hold, or sell opinions on these given stocks. I like to preface by saying that I'm not a financial advisor nor expert, so take what I say with a grain of salt. The reason that I started this channel is because a couple years back I was about $30,000 deep in some medical debt, and I was very fortunate to have some close family, friends, and mentors that pushed me to work hard and invest my money, and I'm happy to say that not only am I now financially free, but I'm doing pretty well for myself at the age of 23. So if I can pass along any of the information, resources, or tools that are given to me here to the community, make a couple people better off than they were before, that's all that I can ask for. Last, if you would not mind dropping a like on the video, it really does help support the channel, and consider subscribing if you'd like to see more content like this. Now today, we are going to be giving an update on ticker symbol BB, Blackberry LTD. This stock is absolutely filthy. It's absolutely mind-blowing what's happening right now in the market. I did cover this stock, a couple days back, and I said, hey, I do think this has some potential to touch the $40 range. And if we come here and look at the 5-year chart, you can see, I suppose the 10-year or the max would be a little better indicator, but we've got a lot of price action here. There's a lot of upside, right? This stock used to trade at over $100, and it's very possible we see that happen again, regardless of what I'm about to tell you with WSB. But I actually believe in BlackBerry as a midterm to long-term hold. I think it's got a lot of potential, and we'll get into that further into the video. But in the short term, this is going to be an extremely volatile stock, and I think you better have a pretty tight stomach if you are holding a position in this, because it is going to move up and down multiple dollar signs very, very quickly. So we're going to cover this on the 1-month chart as well as the 2-day 1-minute chart to give you both a macroscopic and microscopic view of the company. I've got 3 different indicators pulled up. The RSI, which is the relative strength index. Anything over 70 is overbought. Anything under 30 is oversold. I've got the 200 EMA, which is this dark blue line right here. And this is the 200-day exponential moving average, which is a price action-based valuation trend line over a 200-day moving period. And then the 15-day VAMA, which is the volume adjusted moving average. That is the light blue line right here. Some brokerage accounts won't offer this. You may need to use the VWAP or the MA. They're about the same thing. But this is just a price action-based valuation trend line over a 15-day moving period, adjusted accordingly to the overall volume going into a stock. So we'll talk about what all 3 of these mean. I've got a Fibonacci retracement drawn up, which is very easy to use. You simply go to Fibonacci retracement on your draw tools on Fidelity Pro, put the base on the bottom of a run-up, the peak at the top of a run-up, and it gives you an idea of what kind of pullbacks you might see on a stock. So we'll look at this, look at some potential entry points. I've got a price target of in between $37 and $40 on this in the short term. I think it's very, very possible to see that happen within the month. And honestly, with what's going on, maybe within a couple days. So BlackBerry looks absolutely insane right now. We're gonna look at some both bullish and bearish patterns and get you guys up to speed with how to hit this play. So let's just get right into the video. But first, I want to give a quick shout out to the guys over the Patreon. We are 600 members strong now, which is absolutely insane to me. I'm so grateful for everybody. Thank you guys for the support. It really does mean a lot to me. They all have access to this awesome private Discord, as well as real-time insight to my personal trading. And we've got a lot of great stuff in here. So we've got chat and questions, investing assistance, options trading, stock buy, which we will look at here today, short-term plays, mid-term plays, long-term plays, SPAC plays, cult stocks, and a whole bunch of different industries and sectors. So if you're interested in joining this awesome community, there is a link to the Patreon in the description box down below. And you've got some people in here that make a lot of money. Brother Darkness made 80% in the past 3 months. Crow made $10,000 in the past month. Thanks for the shout out, my friend. I really do appreciate you. And then Vike made 203% in 1 month. So like I said, great people here. If you're interested in joining, there's a link to the description box down below. Now, what's going on? Wall Street Bets. It's WSB. It is a Reddit thread that's currently taking storm on the internet. It's absolutely making history and doing some crazy, crazy things to the market. I think it's very likely that you see some SEC guidelines and rules come from this. This is very uncharted territory. I've never seen this kind of thing happen before in my entire life. And there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. So basically what's happening is if we come over here to WSB Wall Street Bets Discord, we're going to see exactly what is happening. So while this loads real quick, I'll just pause the video. Okay, so I'm not able to see it. I'm guessing there's just too much traffic or something going on, but the page is glitching out a little bit. But essentially what's happening is we've got hundreds of thousands of people that are coming onto this Discord and this Reddit thread and are saying, hey, let's all come together and buy this stock. And we saw this happen with GME. It's doing an absolutely insane run up right now, probably pulling back at this moment. Yeah, they are. So absolutely insane run up. There's a lot of buying pressure. A lot of people are riding this, and basically what they're trying to do is short squeeze different stocks that have a lot of short interest. GameStop had a lot of short interest. AMC, another example, had a lot of short interest. BB is another stock that has a lot of short interest, and this is on their watch list. And the reason that they're hitting these is because if you are able to have a short squeeze, and what this is essentially is shorts have to sell their shares at a certain price and try to buy them back lower to make a profit. You make the profit on the difference between those two prices, right? Well, if they have to buy back higher than they sold the shares at, that is called covering. That's buying back your shares, and this can cause a short squeeze. And essentially what that is you're pushing the price higher because sellers are having to buy back at a higher price, and regardless of whether you had to cover or buy, no matter how you buy, it still pushes the price up. So we are likely to see a short squeeze happen with BB if this is the case. And if we come over here to the weekly earners and learners, we'll change over to StockBot and just type in popular stocks. And what this does is it gives us a list of the most talked about stocks in the last hour across all discords in the world. And right now the top three are GME, AMC, and BB. And basically what this is saying is, all right, we know we've got a lot of people right now talking about all these companies, and we are expecting some pretty hard pushes on all of them. Now, BB is no exception. They are being added to this list right now, and while in the short term, this is going to be a very volatile stock, I think in the midterm to long term, there is also potential here with BlackBerry. So in the short term, if you want to get into this play, just know there's risk involved. You are very, very likely to see swings of multiple dollars both up and down. So be very cautious on when you buy into this stock. I want to say that first and foremost, be extremely, extremely, extremely cautious. There's going to be risk here, especially now that we've got this WSB thing happening. So let's take a look at the charts and see what we can find out about a good entry point into the stock to help mitigate risk and make money in the long term. I do think that after this all kind of fades out and we see more regular market action happening, BB is very likely to be a $40 stock, $50 stock, $60 stock down the road as they continue to grow more organically. But in the moment being, it's very hard to predict what's going to happen here, right? This is unprecedented times. Let's just take a look at the Fibonacci retracement and get an idea of what we might see for a potential pullback. Now, if we bring this to the base of this run-up, right, we can see that it's pulling back extremely well. This is backwards for whatever reason, but it's pulling back extremely well to what would be the 23.6% retracement. And what does this mean? Well, if you come from the bottom here, which would be getting back 100%, and this isn't supposed to be flipped, I bet if I change this around, let's just do this real quick. I'm going to, yeah, there we go. Now we're cooking with Crisco. So if we put this on the top here, and the base of the Fibonacci retracement on the bottom, if this gives back 38%, which we do have a line at right now at $20.10, we are expecting that it should see a bounce, and that might not happen, right? Just based on previous trends, if we look on the previous pullback, we did see it come back to 61.8%. So it's very likely we see a harsh pullback from this run-up. Now, in the short term, you know, we're looking at 61.8%, which is $20.88. If we come to this retracement from this Fibonacci, you're looking at $20.14. So I think somewhere between 2014 and probably 2091 is probably a good entry point for the stock, which we are currently at right now. There's a very harsh sell-off. We were in overbought territory on the RSI, and it's going to be hard to predict what happens here during the next, couple trading days and weeks with BlackBerry, AMC, GME, just because of some of the crazy stuff that's happening on Reddit. So take this with a grain of salt for what it is. This is atypical market behavior, but previous trends do show a lot of volatility with BlackBerry, so that much has not changed. The RSI corrections are very up and down. There's a lot of opportunity here for a swing trade as well as a mid-hold position. So if you are holding a position in BlackBerry and you're anywhere under $19, I think you're doing extremely, extremely well. I did put a video out on this previously, and I said, hey, if you're looking for a position based on what we see on the charts and the retracements, you're very likely to see a bounce off of this this 50% retracement, and we did see that. So if you got in at that point, like I'd recommended in a previous video, 1759, you're doing extremely well. I don't think you should be concerned whatsoever. Your risk is fairly low, and this has run up a lot, right? We haven't really seen a harsh correction yet, any sort of real bullish, or I should say bearish territory. We've had a gap between the 15 VAMA and the 200 EMA for quite some time now, so extremely bullish territory. We have had some corrections intraday, but they have not lasted long. It's been a lot of up and down movement. So if you want to hold BlackBerry in the short term, keep that in the back of your mind. It is a very volatile stock. You're likely to see a lot of price action, both up and down, multiple dollars. There's an opportunity here, I think, for swing trading if you are interested in doing that. With this volatility, all you're looking for is a bounce off of significant levels, right? So we see a bounce here off of the 50% retracement. Previously, we saw a bounce off of the 61.8% retracement. And what might we be looking at here? Well, looks like we're going to retest this. We actually already pushed through it, but maybe a bounce off of another retracement. So if we come from the base here, the next level we're going to be watching for is this 50% at $18.91. If it does not bounce off of any sort of level here soon, we do have a support level sitting on these candle wicks at $18.93. So you're likely either going to see it bounce off of $18.93 or bounce off of this retracement at $18.91. So they're very closely tied together. So just watch for that. I think if you're looking for a position, that will treat you pretty nicely. If it does push down below that, $17.50 will also be a good entry point into the stock. And I do think that this is a good company. They're getting into the tech side of autonomous driving, and there's a lot of money tied into that, guys. So I could very easily see this down the road, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, being a triple-digit stock. So I think this is a good company to buy into. I do currently have a position. Don't pay attention to SNPW. I've got a video out on that talking about how this huge loss happened. But I do have a position in BlackBerry, and I got in for 235 shares at an average price of $19.65, and my entry point, not fantastic. You guys can do better than that. $17.50 is a good entry point on BB, and if you guys hit that, I think you're gonna do extremely well. $18.93, it does look like we are approaching. We did actually see a little bit of a bounce here on the chart, so that's how it looks right now. Great bullish territory, big gap between the 15 VAMA, 200 EMA. Volume is growing every single day. This is a heavily shorted stock. Keep that in the back of your mind. So if we come over here to statistics, or I should type in short BB. This will tell us how many people are shorting BlackBerry, and that is 7.13% of the float. 562 million shares outstanding, 550 million share float. So not a lot of demand, not a lot of crazy volatility we're expecting from that. But there could be a potential short squeeze, which I think is why Wall Street Bets is talking about this stock here in the future. I think AMC has a better overall potential for a short squeeze, but there is still potential with BlackBerry for that to happen. Now let's change over to the 2-day 1-minute chart really quick and just look for some extra confirmations. And we are seeing a pretty gnarly top out, and I anticipate this is entirely because of what we're seeing on Reddit right now. This is very atypical trading behavior. BlackBerry has not had any news catalyst in the last couple of days, so this is absolutely all happening because of word of mouth, which is absolutely insane. It does look like we may be seeing a bounce here. Taking a look at the overall candlesticks, let's take a look at sort of buying pressure and selling pressure we're seeing here in the pre-market. We got a nice hammer candle right here, which is typically a sign of weak sellers. So that is something to watch for and keep in the back of your mind. At the beginning of the day, we did see a couple of long wicks on the top, good topping tails, which typically indicates a little bit of weak buying pressure. And I can see that because I think AMC and GME are kind of taking the market by storm right now. BlackBerry, you know, it is being talked about. It is the third most talked about ticker symbol across all discords at this current moment, with 32 discords talking about BB. But AMC and GME are absolutely taking the internet by storm right now, and it does look like we did see a bounce off of $19.20. So we'll see where this potentially ends up going, but it does look like there's some pretty strong buying presence. We just saw a fill of 508,000 shares, guys, at what would have been 4:06 a.m. CST. Absolutely insane what's happening here. We'll change over to the 2-day again just to take a quick peek at everything. Any last minute confirmations? Yesterday's price action, we did see a stair-stepping bottom out. Typically a bearish indicator, but we did recover nicely. 15 VAMA cross back over the 200 EMA, which is a bullish indicator. Here in the pre-market, we gapped up pretty heavily and had a cross under. So right now this is bearish territory, a lot of selling presence. a lot of selling pressure as well. But if you see this reverse, and you very likely could today, I would expect, watch for this push of the 15 VAMA back over the 200 EMA, and you could honestly ride this as a swing trade, and once it crosses over that line, enter your position. Once you see a trend reversal, you see the 15 VAMA start to cross under like this, big reversal, take your profits, move on, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. This is going to be a very, very volatile stock, so there's a lot of different opportunities right now with BB. That is what I have for the video today, guys. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like. It really does help support the channel, and consider subscribing if you'd like to see more content like this. And lastly, I do have an affiliate link in the description box down below for Webull. Webull is a brokerage account that allows you to trade in the extended hours starting at 4 a.m., which is a great tool if you want to get in early on some stocks. If you deposit $100, you can get 4 free stocks worth up to a couple $1,000s, and I will also receive a free stock. So a great way to support the channel if you're interested. If not, I don't really care, guys. It's all good. I just appreciate your support by taking the time to watch my videos. So that's what I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching, my friends, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.